Hey yo, what's up, GioEra, and welcome back to another Dauntless build video. So for today, I'm gonna be talking about what are the best weapons to PowerSurge in Dauntless, and also their elements, what they do, and stuff like that. So yeah, without further ado, let's go straight into it. Today in this video, I'll be showing you three different tiers. First, we're gonna have low tier, then the mid tier, and then the high tier. The low tier is gonna be pre-level 10, the mid tier is gonna be from level 10 to level 18, and lastly, the high tier is gonna be from level 18 to level 20. I'm also gonna be encompassing all the weapons together because all the weapons have the same cells, perks, and stuff like that. So yeah, let's go straight into it. Firstly, I want to talk about what are the best elements for each tier. And for the first one, I got the low tier. For the low tier, which is the pre-level 10, the best element is gonna be the Terra one, then the Shock, then Frost, then Neutral, and lastly is gonna be the Blaze. Now, what are the best weapons for this tier? Firstly, as I said, the best element for this tier is gonna be the Terra one, and the best weapon in the Terra element is gonna be the Skarn's weapons, which have +3 weight strike cells on them. And for the unique effect, it's gonna be the after using your lantern ability, grant a stackable 250 health shield that lasts for 25 seconds, and the max is gonna be 600 shields, and it also has finesse and defense cell slots. So yeah, that was the first weapon, which I recommend grinding and maxing out if you are low tier. Next up, for the Shock, I'm gonna go with Neizaga's weapons, which have +3 barbed, and its unique effect is gonna be +5% lifesteal versus wounded parts. For the cells, it's got the finesse and lantern cell slots in it. And now for last weapon in this tier is gonna be the Frost weapon, which is gonna be the Panger's weapons. They have +1 weighted strike cells on them, and it also has a very cool unique effect, which is gonna be once charged, your next attack places a frost brand that deals 1k frost damage after 30 seconds. Stars can destroy the brand prematurely, detonating it for 50% increased damage, and the charges every 90 seconds. So yeah, that was all the weapons, all the 3 weapons I went with the low tier. And also I'm gonna be showing you some gameplay of all the weapons I told you about later in the video, so stick around and watch that. Now let's continue on to the mid tier. For the mid tier, as I said, it's gonna be from level 10 to level 18. And for the tier, the best elements are gonna be, first of all, Shock, then Blaze, then Terra, then Frost, then Radiant, then Umbral, and lastly, the Neutral. For this tier, the 3 best weapons are gonna be the Shock, Blaze, and the Terra weapons. Now let's go straight into what kind of weapons they are. For the Shock, I went with the Sawis weapons, which are undoubtedly one of the best weapons and one of the best weapon types in the game for the Shock element. So yeah, it has +3 repulse, and for the unique effect is gonna be once charge, your next weapon swing or shot unleashes a boomerang projectile that frequently deals 325 shock damage to any target hit. Dodging through an attack reduces charge cooldown. And I completely forgot, the Savage weapons have double finesse cell slots on them. So yeah, that was for the Shock one, and now let's continue on to the Blaze weapons, which for the Blaze weapons I went with the Hellions weapons, which are also one of the best weapons in the game. They have +3 overpower on them, and the unique effect is the 15th hit in a row deals +200 damage and inflicts major blaze damage to the behemoth. And for its cell slots, it's gonna have double power cell slots on it. So yeah, that was the Shock and the Blaze one. And for our last weapon for this tier is gonna be the Terra weapons. For the Terra weapons, I went with the Karabex weapons. Now, for the Karabex weapons, they have +3 Blaze Storm on them, and for the unique effect, it's gonna be once charged, your next attack unleashes a whirling blaze that deals 75 terror damage. Additional attacks speed up blades, which explode at the end of the duration and deal damage based on the blade speed. Those were the weapons for the mid tier, and now lastly let's go into the high tier weapons. The high tier weapons are gonna be from level 18 to level 20, and primarily these weapons are from the legendary behemoth. And because it's high tier, all the weapons are gonna be the legendary weapons for this tier. Now for the elements, first one the Radiant, then the Terra, then Shock, Blaze, Frost, Umbral, and the last one is gonna be Neutral. So as I said, all of these weapons for the high tier are gonna be the legendary weapons of the legendary behemoth, so keep that in mind. Now for the best weapons of this tier, as I said earlier, the best element is the Radiant element, and for its weapon is gonna be the Chronoverse weapons, which are legendary weapons, which are, if you don't know, for the legendary weapons, they have different legendary abilities. And for the Radiant one, it has a really cool ability, which is when you do the legendary ability, it rewinds your position 3 seconds prior to activation, restores health and stamina lost in that time, and removes debuffs, become invulnerable, and gain increased movement speed for 6 seconds, usable while downed, and resets on the behemothal or 90 seconds. And also with the legendary weapons, you can bond weapons to it. For example, you can equip this Chronoverse weapon, and you can bond them with maybe like Velomir's weapons or Rezakuris, but you have to keep that in mind that they have to be the same element. They also have double prismatic slots on them, and prismatic cell slots mean that you can have any cells in the game attached to that weapon. Next up for the next weapon is gonna be the Terra weapons, which are gonna be the Agerusis weapons. For the second place, I went with Terra weapons because they also have a really cool legendary ability to them. For the Aegir's one is gonna be the press legend ability to revive all players in large radius, granting them healing over time and immunity to stagger, and it's also usable while downed, and resets on behemoth kill or after 5 minutes. And also, as I said, you can have different kind of weapons bonded to this weapon, but it has to be terror weapons for the Aegir's, and it also has double prismatic cell slots on them, as well as any other legendary weapon. And for our last weapon is gonna be the shock weapon, which is gonna be the Melkarian's weapons. For the Melkarian's weapons, the legendary ability is gonna be press the legendary ability button to teleport your behemoth, dealing shock damage, shots and abilities deal shock damage, resets on behemoth kill or after 2 minutes, and it also has double prismatic cell slots on them. So yeah, to sum it all up, I've got 9 different weapons you want to power surge. For the low tier, it's gonna be the Skarn's weapons, Nezega's weapons, and the Penger's weapons. For the meteor, it's gonna be the Savit's weapons, Helen's weapons, and the Kerbek's weapons. And for the high tier, it's gonna be the Chronovor's weapons, Aegir's weapons, and the Melkarian's weapons. I didn't quite go into what type of weapons to power surge and to develop, because those are very individual. Personally, I would go for the swords, play around and find out which weapon type is your best, and generally all the weapons have the same perks and stuff like that, so that's that. And yeah, I'm also gonna show you the gameplay of these weapons, which I said now, so thank you for watching. If you have any questions, make sure to comment down below and I'll gladly answer them. So yeah, this has been GioEra, and I'll see you guys next one. Peace.